The first thing I want to do is thank everyone in this room. My brother passed away 1 month ago today, and the level of compassion and heartfelt condolences and sympathy that I got from my friends in this room was truly overwhelming and heartwarming. We all drive each other nuts sometimes, and we have some fierce disagreements, but at the end of the day, we're all friends, and I'm proud to serve with each and every one of you. My brother died 33 years and 3 weeks after my mother died. My brother was exactly almost to the week the same age as my mother, and he died of exactly the same thing. He died of addiction. His drug of choice and my mother's drug of choice was alcohol. It kills slowly and in horrific ways, and that's what makes what we're doing here today, or going to do shortly, all the more important. On the bill now, if you'll let me, Mr. Speaker. First question we have to ask is whether addiction is more like cancer or more like a bad habit. And it's hard to get your head around an affliction that in order for it to progress, the victim has to be complicit in their own destruction. It's impossible for those of us who are not afflicted with that to get our heads around that, I think. If you've had a family member with it, if you've helped someone battle it, you have a vague understanding. But as a whole family watches someone destroy themselves or be destroyed by this, you realize that it's an affliction of an entire family, of an entire ecosystem, of friends as well. It isn't a bad habit. It is something that drives some people to the point where they can't help but commit slow-motion suicide. And those people that love them have to watch. It's like one of those bad dreams where everything moves in slow motion. Something really awful is happening, and you can't quite move fast enough to do anything about it. So it is more like cancer than a bad habit, whether the person has to be complicit in their own destruction or not. Alcohol kills slowly. Heroin kills quickly. And they all are killing too many of our friends and loved ones, and particularly with heroin, our children. The second question one must ask is, are the things that we're going to do today, the prescriptions to solve this problem, the right answers? The first thing we're going to do is mandate treatment be provided. Treatment isn't the answer for everyone. And those who worry that some people will take advantage of this somehow and take more treatment than is necessary, I will tell you, because I've been there, nobody spends one more day in an addiction treatment center than they need to spend. These are not pleasant places, even if they are upscale ones. Nobody chooses to be there. If you have a loved one who needs treatment, and they are ready, and there's only fleeting moments when they are ready to accept treatment, you need to make it happen. Whether you have to spend your savings or sell your house, you have to do it. Now, of course, if you're a parent with a heroin addict, this is your baby that you love, who is ready to go for a brief moment after the nights of horror and the rage and the broken mirrors and the theft of your wife's wedding ring to sell for the next fix, when you have that moment that they want to be in treatment, it is beyond devastating to get a call from a nameless, faceless bureaucrat at an insurance company telling you it'll be all right with outpatient treatment, when you know this person that you love will be dead within a few days without this treatment. I know I've taken those calls. You need the treatment, you need it then, and there's nobody who's going to take advantage of it who doesn't absolutely need it. But you can't send this person out for a few more days of outpatient treatment. They'll be back in the cycle, especially with heroin. They'll be back through another 6 months or a year. They'll be back stealing from everybody they know and maybe dead. I know when my brother went through treatment over and over again that had we not scrounged the money up to get him into inpatient treatment, my brother would have been dead 2 years ago. There were 2 years I would never give back. They were not easy, but I wouldn't give them back. They were worth every penny. So it is the right thing for us to decide that insurance companies must be mandated to provide treatment. No questions asked for the first 28 days, some questions asked after that. And we as a compassionate society need to agree that it's time to do that. To say no would be tantamount to saying, well, cancer treatment might be too expensive as well. We could chop everybody's health insurance by about 30% if we just stop treating cancer. This is just like that, as horrific. And as a compassionate society, we need to accept that we're willing to accept that cost. And I won't hide from that, as I haven't about any good cause. We have to accept the costs. And everybody's health insurance will go up because of this. But we're not advocating cutting health insurance by cutting cancer treatment. We can't advocate to keep health insurance lower than it ought to be in a compassionate society by turning down the opportunity to mandate inpatient treatment for drug addiction. The other aspect of this is a reduction in the number of days that doctors can prescribe opiates. We're going all the way down to 5 days. That's dramatic. There's no restriction now. But there isn't a person in this room, maybe 80, 90%, let's say maybe there are 10% of you, who have not had a doctor, a decent guy, friend of the family or not, hand you a prescription for a minor procedure or a minor pain for 30 days worth of a powerful opioid that should be a minor opioid for 3 days. It happens far too frequently, and I have sympathy for the physicians that are good ones that self-police, but there are way too many of them that haven't. To this day, today, there will be prescriptions written by irresponsible or incompetent doctors for 30 days worth of a drug that's way too powerful for the pain that this person may encounter, be it wisdom teeth removal, lower back pain, a myriad of things that opioids are not appropriate for. They will be written today. And some of them will lead to the person who had the prescription written for them to become an addict, or when they only use it for the 3 days they need it, their children will get into that medicine cabinet and they will die because of this wildly excess supply of these drugs that shouldn't be there in the first place. We can argue over the 5 days or 7 days. I'm going to introduce with Assemblyman Munoz today a bill that would say, maybe 5 days is too little. Maybe we should go with 7 days. Happy to talk about that. These aren't perfect bills. Happy to talk about them as we move forward. This is not a perfect bill. But we have to take this step. It is 10 years overdue. It is dramatic. It is bold. But this scourge that we face that is indiscriminately killing people with knowing no boundaries of racial or socioeconomic or geographic, it is ravaging each one of our communities. We must fight it. We must fight it together. We must start right now. I encourage everyone to vote for this bill and look forward to you on the other things that we'll have to do, because it will not end here.